Hello, future designers and developers, and welcome to a video tutorial on creating this focus timer. So what this timer is we can set a interval that we want to create a timer for, whether it's 5, 15, 25 minutes, and then when we hit our play button, it's going to count down until it reaches 0. Once it reaches 0, it just stops. So it's a little productivity tool that you can use to map out if you wanted to work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break, work for 15 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Heck, even if you wanted to work for 5 minutes and take a 25-minute break, you could do all of that here. So in this video, we're gonna break it up into parts. This first part is just going to be on writing the HTML. So let's go over. I'm gonna use a blank code pen for this. And we are just going to start with a div. And we're gonna do a div with class container. So that's going to be where we keep all of our elements, everything like that inside. And we're just going to close this up. All right. So once we have our container inside of here, we are going to have a couple different areas. The first area that we're going to have a div with a class that is equal, I'm going to call it time select, because this is going to have several buttons inside of it. All these buttons are going to be the different times that we can select. So we're just going to use a class of time select. Cool. We're going to close that out. And now inside of here, we have 3 different buttons. You can set these to be your own values. I'm going to use the ones that I used in the example, whether they're 5, 15, 25, doesn't matter. All these are going to be buttons. They're each going to have 2 classes. The first class is going to be specific, that we're going to be using inside of JavaScript. So let me save this and make sure that autosave is on so it doesn't get that prompt. Cool. All right, so the classes that we're going to have, first one specific that we're going to use in JavaScript, the second one is more broad that we're going to use in CSS. You could do this with IDEs, but the way that I'm going to code this is, I think, going to be easier using classes. So the first one I'm going to call 5 button, and then the second class I'm just going to call it a time button, time capital BTN, and we're going to close this up, but we're going to put 5 inside of here, so it just has the number 5. All right, and now I am just going to copy and paste this because we're going to need several of these. Let's try and get it all on one line. All right, so then I'm going to change out this to be 15 and then this to be 25. So now I've got my buttons over here. I've got 5, 15, 25. Cool. This is all inside of the time select, which is going to be our nice area over there. The second area that we're going to have is we're going to create a div, and this one is going to be with a class of time display, because that's where we're going to display our time. And this one we're actually just going to leave empty right here, so it's not going to have anything inside of it. And then the last div that we're going to have is, we'll give it a class that is equal to our, I'm just going to call this controls. And this is where we're going to have like our play pause button. It's the same button, but we're just going to swap out some things about it. So this one, we are not going to leave empty. We're actually going to throw a button inside of here to start. So the icons that I'm going to be using as these buttons, I'm grabbing from Ion Icons. It's totally open sourced. It's licensed by MIT. They're nice looking buttons. So inside of here, I'm going to start by looking for the play button. Play. And I did the one with the circle around it. Again, you can choose all of them. They don't have tons of icons, but I think they're pretty good. So I'm just going to copy that, go over back to our page. I'm going to paste that in here. So I've got the icon that is, what should we call it? The play icon. It's not showing up right now because 1, we need to put it inside of a button, and 2, what should we call it? We haven't linked our icons yet. We still need to be able to use that. So let's throw it inside of a button. I'm going to give this class a play pause, because that's going to be both of that. And then I'll go and close up this button. Cool. I'll stretch that out just so we can see everything. So I've got button, the ion icon, and then the close button. Now we do not actually see it yet because we need to go over here, go over to usage, and they've got this installation. So we just have to copy this and put this into the body. So we're just going to copy that, go over here, and I'm going to throw it right at the start of my HTML. There. Now we've got our play button. Cool. All right. That is all of the HTML that we need to do to get this started. So this is going to be the first part. Come back and watch the second part where we're going to go over all of the JavaScript. I'm going to leave the CSS all up to you. All right. Talk to you later.